So, I don't know,
Speaking of Lisa, boy, I'm sorry she's down for the count and that you've been sick.
Yeah,
it's so weird. I'm driving and listening to you explain your husky voice and how you went to the Doc in the Box and everything.
Yep.
Two things and the Doc in the Box story is fascinating because that's a total COVID thing. Sitting in the car and wait. I mean, there's a lot of COVID-inspired policies that are going to be sticking around that aren't such a bad idea. Now, and again, just prayers for her complete recovery quickly, and you too, and you're a trooper for coming into work. I want to talk about one of these.
Last week I was a trooper for coming into work. Now I'm just fine, but I've still got this lingering thing. I got to run home and take care of her the minute this show is over.
Yeah, of course you do.
Not having a good time.
And I can relate. I've been really kind of out of it since I got back from Japan, and I've attributed it to the jet lag, but I'm starting to think it's too long. I got back Friday night. What is this, Wednesday? And I'm still stuffed up and kind of out of it. And
you go halfway around the world, and I still love the text you sent me. The most challenging and tough thing about international travel is traveling internationally. Yeah. You got to cram yourself into a tube for 20 hours on and off, and that'll mess you up. And we're not 33 years old anymore.
That's what it is. I think, I'm 64 now, and I guess when I was 34, I could probably handle it better because a 13-hour time difference is profound. I really think it's the biggest time difference I've ever experienced in my life. I mean, I've been to London. It's not that. I think it's 7 or 8 hours. And Israel, I think, is 5 or 6. 13's a lot. I mean, you're talking, 7 in the morning is 8 at night over there. And it's so you're sleeping, and I'm still stuffed up. I'm spraying the stupid Vicks sinus stuff, and I don't feel 100%. So, but maybe it's also, I've always been prone to allergies. Maybe my immune system got a little.
Well, here's the thing: is that's what I thought it was because the entire months of April and October, I've just got all kinds of things just draining out of me. But when I had and I love this term, the productive cough. That's when there's just something else going on. But it also again, I'm never sick, never. So it's all just a total new experiment for me whenever I am. So last week, and now I'm pumping these things into my bride. Big fan of Theraflu. That stuff's just tasty. It's just kind of citrusy and it's hot. You drink it out of a mug. That's pretty cool. So we did enjoy that.
Well, the other thing, of course, we do our balance of nature every day, and we take good care of ourselves. The other thing is emergency. The powdered stuff that's
Emergent-C or something like that. Where you
shock your
body. A bottle of water.
Yep. You're shocking your body with tons of vitamin C, and usually when something coming on, if I pop some of that, it usually works. But anyway, back to the Doc in the Box thing. So there's a pretty good idea. I don't like being in a waiting room with 97 sick people.
No, it was great. We sat in the parking lot for like 20 minutes, but I'm just sitting there with her, listening to the radio, talking about life, and then they call you to come on in, and then you go on in after, do the little QR code, and there you are. So
I'll take it. And that's inspired by COVID. So
sure is.
COVID, some things, here's another thing I learned about my company this week. And this is apparently the same with a lot of big corporate America, organizations. Because of COVID, now people are working from home like never before, and many of them are never going to go back to the office.
Yep.
Never. So when you have a national company where you could go anywhere in America, there is a lot of people who are transferring from, say, New York to Florida, I did a few years ago.
I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with this? Companies are saying because of the cost of living difference, we're going to dock your pay by the percentage of what the cost of living difference is. I was told yesterday that somebody in our company who elected to move from New York to Florida took a 30% pay cut. Now, Mark, I don't even know how. I love my company, and I'm not taking my company on. I mean, we're like every other broadcast industry company right now. We're all looking for as much revenue as possible. I'm kind of shocked they can do that, but evidently that is a normal thing in corporate America. Have you heard this before?
I totally have, and I want to know, does it work in reverse? Because here I am in Texas. I will never move. I was born here. I will die here. But if I move to Northern California, do I get a 40% raise?
Guarantee that doesn't work in reverse. I can promise you that's
try.
But you're right. I guarantee you that's a one-way street. I guarantee you that it's only to the benefit of the company. And so it's just an interesting thing. And it has to do, again, with COVID-inspired working from home. People and the company is saying, hey, look, it's a wash. And it's not, by the way, the full cost of living that you get docked. They meet you halfway. It's like 50% of it or whatever. But they're saying, hey, it costs X number of dollars to live in New York. It costs X numbers of dollars. You know, you've got no state income tax here in Florida. We got plenty of taxes in New York. So you're going to have to share in this with the company a little bit. I'm going to say this with love with my company. I mean, I'm not saying this. I'm sorry. I find that outrageous. And just from the standpoint of what you just said, if it's the other way around, they're not going to give you a raise.
You think it's designed to stop people from moving? You think it's designed to keep you where you are? Because listen, just in our building, you and I have worked in a lot of radio stations, and they have historically hummed with the vibrancy of on-air talent, salespeople, the engineering folks, the promotions crew, and I'm not going to say that our entire wonderful, comfortable building that I've loved now for 12 years is a ghost town, but it's a ghost town. I mean, there are like 7 people I see every day anymore, and it's crazy.
I'm so torn about this, Mark, on the one, because I'm a hypocrite when I condemn remote work, because everybody on my team basically works from home.
Yes.
Now, it's not quite like it was. I've got Eric and Christian in a New York studio. I've got Tracy in a studio here with me in Tampa. I've got Michael screening from his home in upstate New York. But I know that if Eric needed to, he could run everything from his living room in New Jersey.
Why do you? The curtain pulled back question.
Sure.
You for a while during COVID, you did the show from Casa Gallagher up there,
which I love,
in the tower. So why do you now venture across the bridge to be in the radio station in Tampa?
Because I don't, in my condo, I've got a 2-bedroom condo. I don't really have room for a studio. And now with Salem News Channel, we got 97 monitors. This place looks like the NASA Space Launch headquarters. I got monitors and lights and everything else. If it was back in the day when we had a little box that I could plug in, trust me, I'd be home in my bathrobe every single day of the week. Anyway, and one more travel note before we get into Trump's spectacular visit to Harlem. You cannot understate the powerfulness of that moment yesterday. And I want to get to that in 30 seconds, but let me share with you a story. Travel, and I'm on an airplane a lot. I'll be flying again to South Carolina this day after tomorrow. Got big, exciting news about South Carolina that I can't share yet.
Well, it's fun. Well, okay, well, then you were teasing the audience, because when I popped in the car, you said a lot of these are seasons of bad news, and a lot of states are yielding bad news. But out of a state that I know well, the Palmetto State of South Carolina, wonderful things are happening, and I thought I missed it. So
I haven't been able to say it yet because the deal isn't done yet. But I will say this: I met and married my Denise there. We raised our kids in the upstate of South Carolina. That's like home for me. It really is. And
Greenville, Spartanburg,
Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, Pickens County, and my company made the noble decision to sell the station that I had been forced to be on, frankly, because I was on the big powerhouse talk station for many years. That was where I started my career. Well, then go back years ago, Salem bought a station from Bob Jones University, a big powerhouse 94.5 FM WGTK, and we started the Salem lineup there, and you were heard there every time you were on with me. And we were doing great. That station was kicking butt. Well, Salem decided to sell the station to a Christian broadcaster, so I wind up getting yanked off the other station years ago, put on this one, and then they sell it. So now I don't have a home in the upstate of South Carolina, but I am proud to share. I'm saying too much as it is, but I will just say this: this story is going to have a happy ending for Team Gallagher. So I'm gonna be home again, I think, and I'm excited about that. Oh yeah, that's just my luck. I got the call. We're selling Greenville. I'm like, what?
Before we talk about Trump, before we even get to Trump, are there any other ways you'd like to endear yourself to corporate before we move on?
This is my last day officially. My name has already been removed from the mailbox.
Is there anything about the insurance plans you'd like to weigh in on?
Buddy, my door code doesn't work. I wonder what happened. Why can't I get in the building today?
Swipe it.
Well, let's just hope they're not listening to the M&M Experience. All right, let's go to Harlem yesterday. I mean, honestly, Mark, think about the image of a Republican presidential candidate on trial, billionaire Republican, on trial with this bogus kangaroo communist court with this monstrous judge who's just on a ego trip, and they're having a field day, gag orders, and all this nonsense. And Trump decides to go to Harlem. Of all places, Harlem, like you said, not a white face in sight. He goes to the bodega where that guy was attacked by a thug, and he fended off the attack. Alvin Bragg, this corrupt Soros-installed prosecutor, he sent that guy out, the bodega owner, to Rikers Island to jail
for defending himself until there was such a public outcry, because it was all captured on video, that they let him go, thank God. Anyway, that's where Trump went, to that bodega. Here's the beauty of his appearance yesterday. Unlike Grandpa Joe's appearance in Scranton, which was all planned in advance and scripted and teleprompters and a set, and incidentally, about 50 people showed up. Yeah. Nobody went to Scranton to see Joe Biden. No. But in Harlem, huge crowd, all filled with love and admiration, kids screaming, "We love Trump, we love Trump," Trump posing with the NYPD. Mark, it was one of the most I posted last night on X. I never could have seen this coming. This could have been the biggest moment of the year, but heck, it's only April. It's only April. I saw that. Such a genius.
Yep. We got more coming. I mean, this is what you talked about the gag order. That pathetic, vicious Letitia James took to social media every single day, trashing Trump, attacking him, taunting him, trolling him. Alvin Bragg campaigned on getting Trump. And you're right. The gag order only applies to Trump. Yep. Listen, if you can't disparage Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen, nobody can be disparaged, because they're two of the lowest of the low. They're two of the creepiest cretins in the face of the earth. Those two clowns, and they're, of course, the whole crux of the case against Trump. He can't say anything about the confirmed perjurer, Michael Cohen, or the woman who swore for years that she never had an affair with Trump, Stormy. If he can't criticize them, I guess he can't criticize anybody. But this is what we've got right now, Mark. And I'm telling you, I feel this more than ever. It's why he's going to win. It's backfiring. He's going to win, Mark. He's going to win on November 5th. Harlem, they're cheering for him in the street. Harlem? I wonder what kind of response Biden would get in Harlem.
Oh, he'd be met by 5,000 Palestinian protesters calling him Genocide Joe.
Tell me about it. They're furious with him. I mean, it's a wild place right now. Yep. You're right. And Biden's speech in Scranton was so pathetic. All he's got is raging against Trump, supposedly claiming that our war heroes were losers. That was a complete debunked story.
Zero evidence that happened. Exactly.
You're right.
Some of our war dead, he wouldn't go to a veteran cemetery because our guys were, suckers and losers.
Suckers and losers.
Does that even listen? There are 500 things you could tell me Trump said, many of them that would make me go, ugh. And I'd say, well, okay, that does sort of sound like him. That one absolutely does not. There is no universe in which he would.
They took that story and ran with it, but Biden's repeating it as of yesterday, which shows you how desperate they are.
That's all they got.
Now they're saying polls are shifting a little bit. I don't believe Biden is starting to gain momentum with Hispanics. Why? Wow. Would the borders any better?
Thank you.
So, what in the world would cause his State of the Union speech? Are you kidding me?
Oh, boy.
I mean, I'm feeling good, Mark. I'm feeling really, really good. I like our chances too. Feel better. Give my love to Lisa.